Morning everyone. So today we're going to talk about the working capital management pa rin pero part 2 na. Kasi last time we already talked about the working capital in general. We talked about how to manage our cash and also how to manage our accounts receivable. So today, ang focus natin ay management of our inventory and our current liabilities or short-term na mga financing. So, to start with, inventory management po muna tayo. So we have mentioned before na sa inventory, ang gusto natin is for us to have enough inventory para hindi tayo magkakaroon ng stock out or hindi naman tayo magkakaroon din ng sobrang level of inventory. So how do we manage our inventory? First, may mga managers kasi na involved in the inventory management or somehow affected yung kanilang performance with the inventory levels. So iba-iba rin sila ng gusto or disposition toward inventory levels. For example, financial manager. So tayo bilang nasa finance, we would want the inventory level to be kept at low level lang. And that would ensure that the firm's money is not being unwisely invested in excess resources. Kasi the more inventory that we keep, the more money na doon sa inventory natin. Kaya ang gusto natin, mababang level lang ng inventory para mababa lang yung pera natin na tulog doon sa inventory na yan. That's what we want to happen. Pero ang isang marketing manager, medyo iba yung point of view niya. They would want to have large inventories of the firm's finished products. Why? Because there would be more chances of selling those products. They want to have more inventory and that would mean more sales for the company. So medyo magkaiba or magkalaban ng idea si financial manager and marketing manager. Kasi si marketing manager, they just want to make more sales. Pero si finance manager or financial manager, they would want, of course, to have more sales. Pero they would want to keep low inventory. Maybe just enough para dun sa mga naibebenta natin na inventory outside. Okay? And we also have the manufacturing manager. Sa kanya naman, he would want to implement the production plan so that it results in the desired amount of finished goods acceptable quality, available on time, and at a low cost. Yun ang gusto mangyari ng manufacturing manager. Pero si purchasing manager, ang focus naman niya is more on the raw materials inventory kasi that is what they purchase. So medyo magkakaiba lang ng konti yung kanilang disposition toward inventory levels. And here are some techniques for managing our inventory. The first one is ABC inventory. It's not the activity-based costing system. ABC lang ang tinawag sa kanya because the inventory is divided into 3 groups, A, B, and C. So kapag kasama sa group A, generally these are those items with the largest investment. So typically this group consists of 20% of the firm's inventory items but 80% of its investment in inventory. Kumbaga, konti man sila, pero yung amount of money invested in those inventory ay composed of 80% of its investment in inventory. So, konti man, pero malalaki yung halaga ng inventory na to. That would be followed by Group B. That consists of items that account for the next largest investment in inventory. At ang pinakamalit na investment would be on Group C. Relatively small investment po. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang nito, if the inventory is under the Group A, that would require more effort in the monitoring and mas matindi effort natin kasi mas kahit konti lang yan, ang laki ng pera natin na tulog sa Group A. So we want to sell more of Group A so that we can utilize or we can reduce yung mga opportunity cost natin. Ibig sabihin yung pera natin na nandun sa inventory. Sana na-invest natin into any other. So since tulog sa inventory na yun, so nandun lang yung pera natin. Kaya more effort will be exerted para sa monitoring or sa pag-manage natin ng Group A na inventory. So next effort, kay Group B, Hindi naman sinasabi na walang effort kay Group C, pero ibig sabihin compared lang kay Groups A and B, less effort to kay C compared kay A and B. But then again, more effort kay A. So another technique for managing inventory is the use of just-in-time or the IT system, wherein the materials arrive at exactly the same time when they are needed for production. So having said na dapat dumating yan sa araw talaga na kailangan natin for production, dapat meron tayong close coordination with our supplier din. Kasi kung hindi tayo closely coordinated with the supplier, how can we make sure that those materials will arrive at exactly the time they are needed for the production? Okay? So, ang objective kasi natin is to minimize the inventory investment. Di ba sabi natin kanina, as financial manager, we would want to keep the inventory low. So, just-in-time system, ito yung isa sa mga sagot doon sa gusto mangyari ng financial manager. And JIT system uses no or very little na safety stock. So in other words, we will not be needing huge amount of storage just to keep the inventory that we have. Kasi nga, kung kailan natin kailangan at gamitin sa production, doon darating ang materials. So pagdating niya, diretso na siya sa production. So it doesn't have to be kept for a long time sa ating storage area. So in effect, we don't need to rent. We don't need a large space for the just to keep those inventory. Yun nga lang, tulad ng sabi ko kanina, there is a need for extensive coordination among the firm's employees, suppliers, and shipping companies, because that would ensure na yung materials talaga ay darating on time. Okay? And sabi nga natin, maganda sana yung objective ng just-in-time system, pero failure of materials to arrive on time results in a shutdown of the production line. Kasi nga, di ba, hindi naman tayo nagkikip ng excess na inventory. So, kapag di dumating yung materials for whatever reason, automatically, that would mean shutdown ng operation or of the production line. Kasi nga, wala tayong naka-buffer or safety stock na pwedeng gamitin just in case magkaroon ng failure. Kaya yung iba, hindi naman nag-adapt ng just-in-time system. Pero if you can ensure that just like in the point, yung second point natin, extensive coordination. Kung mayroon tayong extensive coordination among these people, the employees, the suppliers, and the shipping companies, we could ensure the success of having the JIT system in our company. Ayan. Ang Toyota po, just-in-time system ang ginagamit nila. So, they do not have to keep so much inventory. So, they just produce, the materials that they need to come up with their product, dumarating naman exactly when they need those materials. Ayan. And sabi pala natin, likewise, a JIT system requires high-quality parts from suppliers. Why high-quality parts? Kasi nga po, sabi ko nga kanina, parang sinabi mo rin na hindi dumating yung materials on time. Kapag yung materials may hindi high quality, kapag nasira yung materials na yan, ano pang palit natin? We just have enough. Kasi nga, we do not keep so much inventory. So dapat high quality para hindi masisira din yung mga parts na yan, and that will not that will not lead to the shutdown of our operation. Ayan. So this one is kilalang-kilala na natin, the EOQ or Economic Order Quantity. We already discussed this one in the quantitative techniques and for planning and control. So EOQ is again the inventory management technique for determining an item's optimal order size. Pag sinabi mo optimal order size, that's the size of the order that would give you the minimum or the minimal inventory cost. So ang inventory cost po natin, it does not mean yung ating investment on the inventory. It means the costs that are associated in the management of our inventory, such as your ordering cost and your carrying cost. Okay? And sabi po dito, we have mentioned the ABC na technique, and the EOQ model is appropriate to manage those A and B group items. Ayan. So we already assumed that the relevant cost of the inventory can be divided into two, yung ordering at saka yung carrying cost. But just to review, ordering cost, ito yung clerical cost of placing and receiving an inventory order from the term itself. Lahat ng costs associated when we place our order. Carrying costs. These are variable costs per unit of holding an item in inventory for a specific period of time. Normally kasama sa carrying cost natin yung storage, and also yung mga losses natin from theft, obsolescence, because we are keeping the inventory, prone siya sa mga wastages, sa losses, sa obsolescence. So yung costs na yun, plus the warehousing cost, ay part ng carrying cost ng ating inventory. Okay? So the EOQ model analyzes the trade-off between order costs and carrying costs to determine the order quantity that minimizes the total inventory cost. May trade-off, no? As you manage your inventory, your ordering cost rather, gusto mo na bumaba to. Pag bumababa to, ang carrying cost naman natin tumataas. Why? Pag ang ordering cost bumababa, ibig sabihin yung number of orders natin ang bumababa. If the number of orders ay bumaba, ibig sabihin yung size ng order natin, kailangan damihan natin. Okay? If the size of order increases, yung carrying cost naman ang naapektuhan sa atin. Kasi ang carrying cost would be dependent on the quantity that we are keeping. The more orders that the more size or the larger the size of order that we place, ibig sabihin mas malaki yung inventory na i-keep natin sa warehouse. So that would lead to higher carrying cost. Kaya nga sabi natin, if you want to manage the ordering cost, babaan mo siya, tataas to. Kapag ang i-manage mo naman ay carrying cost, ang gagawin mo, liliitan mo yung size ng order. Pag niliitan mo yung size ng order, yung number of times that you are going to place the order will increase. So that would increase the ordering cost. So magkabaligtad talaga yung effect sa kanilang dalawa. And EOQ rather, this is the level of your order or the size of the order wherein you can achieve the optimal or the minimum inventory cost. Ibig sabihin, pinakamababa yung sum, yung total ng inventory cost natin, which consists of ordering and carrying cost. And that is also the point wherein the ordering cost is equal to the carrying cost. So that is the point na we are pertaining to EOQ. Ayan. And EOQ, ang formula natin is 2 over C. Square root of 2 over C. D is for the demand and O for the ordering cost. Per order po yun. And C for the carrying cost per unit. Okay? By the way, be careful with the demand again. Kasi pag demand po ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, that pertains to the annual demand. Okay? Kaya tingnan sa problem, kapag monthly yung demand, di-multiply mo muna ng 12. Kung quarterly yung demand, di-multiply mo ng 4. Kung semi-annual, multiply mo ng 2. Depende po sa given natin. Okay? And then kung weekly po yung demand, multiply natin ng 52. And then O for ordering cost per order, nasabi na natin kanina, and carrying cost per unit. And then after computing for the EOQ, we can compute for the total ordering cost. Transaction cost per activity, or in other words, ito yung ordering cost, ito yung O natin, yung O dito. Yan. Times the number of transactions or number of orders. Okay? Orders. And then annual carrying cost consists of your EOQ over 2 or quantity over 2. Nagkataon EOQ kasi na-solve natin. So that's EOQ over 2. That's the average inventory. Times the carrying cost per unit, or ito yung C natin sa EOQ. Okay? And the total cost of inventory or managing the inventory is equal to the sum of total ordering cost and annual carrying cost. And again, kapag EOQ ang pinag-uusapan natin, equal po yung dalawa na to. Yung ordering cost and carrying cost natin. Alright. So let's have some problems on inventory management. So here's the first one. So Barter Corporation had been buying product A in lots of 1,200 units, which represents average supply for 4 months. So medyo alanganin yung ating supply for 4 months. Ibig sabihin in a year, ang ipang-multiply natin ay 3. Kasi 4 months, to make it 12, multiply natin ng 3 yung 1,200. Okay. And then the cost per unit is 100. Okay. And the order cost is 200 per order. And the annual inventory carrying cost for 1 unit is 25. And the lead time is 5 days. Ano nga yung lead time natin? That is the time that when you place the order until such time na dumating yung order natin. So in other words, that's our waiting time. Ganyan tayo katagal maghihintay ng ating orders. Okay, so number 1, let's apply the formula. EOQ is the square root of 2DO over C. And that is equal to square root of 2 times. Ang demand po natin ay 1,200. Multiply natin ng 3. Kasi pang 4 months yan. Hindi quarterly, pang 4 months. So multiply po natin ng 200 ang ating ordering cost. Order cost, ayan, per order. All over the carrying cost per unit, which is 25. So ang EOQ po natin lumalabas na 240 units. What does it mean? Every time we place our order, the size is 240 units. Okay. And number 2, we are asked for the frequency of the order. Pag tinanong frequency, alamin muna natin ilang orders ba ang gagawin natin in a year. So, number of orders, that would be equal to, ano ba yung kailangan natin na demand for the year? That's 1,200 times 3. So that's 3,600. Okay? Ilang units po ang ipi-place natin na order every time we order? That's 240 yung EOQ. So number of orders is equal to the demand over your quantity. Nagkataon ng quantity natin ay EOQ. Ang demand ay 1,200 times 3 kasi annual. So that would result to 15 orders or 15 times. So for the entire year, we're going to place 15 orders. Tinatanong yung frequency na. Ang frequency is expressed in days. Let us use 360 days. 15 times ka order. So that would be 24 days. Ibig sabihin, umorder ka ngayon ng 240 units, after 24 days, o-order ka ulit ng 240 units. That is what is meant by the frequency of order. Okay, so let's proceed to number 3. We are asked for the total inventory cost. Dito po tayo mag-solve. Okay? Total inventory cost consists of your annual ordering cost. Ang annual ordering cost is the number of orders. Mumultiply po natin ng O, yung ordering cost natin sa nauna kanina. So that would be, balik po tayo sa previous slide, number of orders, 15. Ang O natin ay 200. So balik po tayo rito. So 15 orders times 200 pesos per order. So that would be 3,000 pesos. Yan yung annual ordering cost natin. Ang annual carrying cost naman natin ay average inventory. Mumultiply po natin ang carrying cost per unit. So that would be ang average inventory natin, yung quantity over 2, which is EOQ, which is 240 over 2. Multiply natin ang carrying cost per unit na 25. Okay? So that would be 3,000 pesos also. So sabi natin, EOQ kasi ang ginagamit natin right now na size of the order. Kaya naman, ang average or ang annual ordering cost at annual carrying cost ay equal. Okay? So ang total na inventory cost natin ay 6,000 pesos. Okay? And that's the minimum na inventory cost that we can have, and that is the point ng EOQ. Okay. For number 4, we are asked for the reorder point. Again, ang reorder point natin ay lead time times your daily usage. Ibig sabihin lang, reorder point, kailan ka dapat mag-place ng order? Kasi, what if everyday yung operations mo? So, during the lead time, yung waiting time mo na 5 days, anong gagamitin mo? Wala. Kaya naman ang gagawin natin, pag nakita mo sa warehouse mo na ang reorder na ganitong level na lang, which is the reorder point, ganito na lang karami yung ating raw material or yung products natin or yung ating ino-order or binibili, we have to place our order na. Because while waiting for that order to arrive, dapat meron tayong gagamitin para hindi tayo mawala ng hindi mag-shutdown yung operation natin. So, ibig sabihin, ang lead time po natin ay 5 days. Ano yung daily usage natin? Ang daily usage natin, ano ba yung ating demand for the entire year over the 360 days? Yan yung daily usage natin. Ang demand natin ay 1,200 times 3 over 360 days. So, ibig sabihin, ang ating daily usage ay 10 units per day. So, multiply natin yung 10, ibig sabihin 50 ang reorder point natin. So, whenever we see na 50 na lang yung ating raw mats doon or yung ating items, 50 units na lang, we have to place our order. Because while waiting for 5 days to happen, on the average, 10 units po ang gagamitin natin every day. So, while waiting, meron pa rin tayong gagamitin. Pero ano yung size ng order natin? Madadagdagan po ng konti. 240 yung EOQ, reorder point is 50. So 290 na yung o-orderin natin. Number 5, we are asked for the safety stock if the maximum daily usage is 14. Sometimes it happens na talagang nagsushoot up yung production natin. Bigla talagang ito yung kalakasan ng production natin. So in that case, ang maximum usage daw ay 14. So, ang reorder point mo, if you assume na palaging maximum usage tayo, multiply natin ang maximum usage to. So, that would be 5 times 14. And that would be 70. Yan yung reorder point natin. Ang tinatanong po ay safety stock. Yung difference ng reorder point kapag daily usage lang at maximum usage would be 20 units. And that is what we call safety stock. Okay? May buffer tayo na 20 just in case mag-shoot up yung production natin. So 20 units po. We can also solve that. Ang safety stock is equal to the lead time times maximum usage minus the daily usage. 5 times ano yung maximum? Yung daily usage? 10. So 5 times 4 use ang safety stock natin. So pag nakita mo na 70 na or 70 na lang yung ating materials dun sa warehouse natin, we have to place our order na. Okay? Assuming na baka mag-shoot up into yung ating production into maximum usage of 14. Kaya lang sir, if you do that, na magkikip tayo ng maraming inventory na yan, that would mean na that could increase our carrying costs. That's true. Pero nasabi ko kanina, it's okay to have additional na carrying costs na konti kesa naman mawalan ka ng sales. Kapag may umorder sa'yo na customer at wala kang ng safety stock at wala kang naiwan na inventory sa warehouse mo, so, hindi mo masaserve yung gusto ng customer. So, most likely, the next time na kailanganin niya ng units na yon, hindi na siya sa'yo pupunta. Kasi iisipin niya na wala ka naman ng inventory na yon. So, instead of lost sales because of there is no inventory, mas okay na mag-incur tayo ng konting cost ng carrying cost kesa naman mawalan tayo ng customers. Ayan. Problem number 2. So, Negi Corporation is a secret ingredient in its production. This ingredient costs the company 60 from the supplier and requires a 6-day lead time. The demand every quarter is 13,680 units. The ordering cost is 12.5 and EOQ is 1.2. So, ang hinahanap po ay carrying cost per unit. Okay, so number 1. carrying cost per unit. Kaya lang, ang formula natin ay nasa loob nito. EOQ is equal to 2do over C. Ang hinahanap ay itong C. So ang gawin natin, square natin both sides. So that would be EOQ squared is equal to 2do over C. C ang hinahanap. So C is equal to 2do over your EOQ. Wait lang. Your EOQ squared. Ayan. So if we substitute, C would be equal to 2. Ano yung demand natin? 13,680. Multiply natin ng 4 kasi quarter. Ano ordering cost natin? 12.5. Ayan. All over EOQ which is 1,200 square po natin. That would give us carrying cost per unit na 0.95. Alright? Ayan. So, that's kapag nasa loob ng square root yung ating unknown, yung question. Okay, so this time, tinatanong uli ang total inventory cost. So, punta po tayo sa kabila. So, total inventory cost again is your annual ordering cost, which is equal to the number of orders times your O. Ang number of orders natin ay, ilan nga bang orders natin? So, we just have to get yung number of orders dito na lang. That would be D over yung quantity natin. So, ang D natin is 13,680, yung demand natin, times 4 kasi annual. Ang EOQ natin or quantity natin ay based na nakuha natin sa previous, given po, 1,200. 1,200. So, therefore, ang number of orders ay, ilang orders meron tayo? 13,680 times 4 divided by 1,280. Number of orders ay 42.75. Huwag na po muna natin i-round off. Okay? Pero syempre sa tunay na buhay, hindi yan 42.75. It's 43 already. So, 42.75 times the ordering cost of 12.50. So, times 12.5. So, that would be equal to, bakit ganun? 13,680 times 4 divided by 1,200 pala to. Sulat ko, di ko naintindihan, no? 1,2 ito, hindi to 1,280. 1,2. 1,2, okay? So, it's not 42.75, it's 45.6. Alright, 45.6. Ayan. 45.60 times 12, so that would be 45.6 times 12.5, that would be amounting to 570. Ayan, annual ordering cost. Ang annual carrying cost naman natin ay your quantity over 2 times your C, or average quantity times C. Ang Q natin ay yung EOQ natin, which is 1,200 over 2 times the carrying cost per unit na magkano carrying cost natin, yung na-solve natin sa previous slide, which is 0.95. So the answer is also 570. Okay? So, total inventory cost would be the sum of the two, which is 1,140. So that's the answer in number 2. Okay? Let's go to number 3, where asked for safety stock. So, pwede na po natin gamitin yung ginawa natin kanina. Safety stock is the lead time times the difference of the maximum usage and your daily usage. So, lead time is 6 days. Times, ang maximum usage ay 175. Ano yung daily usage natin? Di ba? Annual is 13,680 times 4. All over 360. Yan. 3,680 times 4 divided by 360. Ilan to? 152. 152 pala yung annual daily usage na. Yung daily usage natin. So, the difference ng 152 is 23 times 6, 138 units po. Yan yung ating safety stocks. Ayan. So, if there are questions, lagay po lang sa ating chat box. If wala, let's just proceed to problem number 3. Ayan. So, we are asked for the EOQ, the order point, and safety stock again. So, number 1, EOQ. Hindi pa man natin binabasa yung problem, just establish a formula. So that's 2do over C. Square root of 2 times. Tingnan natin. The General Chemical Company uses 150,000 gallons of hydrochloric acid per month. So ito na po yung ating demand. 150,000 times 12 kasi per month. The cost of carrying the chemical in inventory is 50 cents per gallon per year. So yung carrying cost natin ay 0.50. And the cost of ordering the chemical is 150 per order. So that is RO sa taas. The firm uses the chemical at a constant rate throughout the year. It takes 18 days to receive an order once it is placed. So ang haba ng lead time natin. So EOQ is equal to, ilan po ito? That's 32,863.35. Pero syempre wala po tayong 0.35. So pwede naman po na 32,864 or 32,863. So depende po yan sa company. At hindi naman, ang examiner naman hindi naman magbibigay na letter A, 32,863. Letter B, 32,864. Hindi naman ganun. So for the meantime, gamitin natin yung 32,863.35. Okay? Number 2, reorder point, ROP. Reorder point is lead time times your daily usage. So that would be 18 days times, ano daily usage natin? Ano ba annual demand natin? 150 times 12, di ba? 150,000 times 12 over 360, which is your, this is your daily usage. So that would be, ilan po ito? 90,000. Alright, so 90,000 gallons. So pag nakita mo na 90,000 gallons na lang, order ka na. Kasi yung 90,000 gallons na yan, mo lang na 18 days. Pag nandiyan na yung order, wala ka na nung hydrochloric acid na yan. So therefore, mare-replenish na ulit. Okay, so number 3. Safety stock. So safety stock is equal to lead time times or maximum minus or daily usage. So lead time maximum is 162 gallons per month. Kaya lang naka-daily usage tayo dito. Ano yung daily usage natin? So 150,000 times 12 divided by 360. Ito po ay 5,000 gallons per day yung daily usage natin. Eh ano yung maximum usage natin? 162,000. Pwede naman po na 162,000 divide po natin ng 30 days kasi 30 days in a month minus the 5,000 gallons na daily usage. Ito po ay lumalabas sa 5,400 gallons. Ay, tama ba? So 162,000 divided by 30. Tama, 5,400 gallons. So 18 times 400, that would be 7,200 gallons as our safety stock. Okay? Ayan. So these are your answers in problem number 3. Let's now proceed to problem number 4. So we're asked for the EOQ, the relevant cost at EOQ or the total inventory cost and the relevant cost. What if hindi natin sinunod, oops, nasa cursor ko. Ayun. What if hindi natin sinunod yung EOQ, equal tayo sa 1,000 units. Okay. So what is the EOQ muna? So number 1, EOQ is equal to the square root of 2do over C. So the square root of 2 times, ano yung demand natin? Oops, annual demand na may binigay, 50,000 na agad. So times 50,000 times, ano yung ordering cost natin? 250. Ayan. Over C, carrying cost natin, oops, may pa-formula, 10% of purchase price plus 4.5. So may, ano may purchase price natin? Ito po, 35 per package. So 3.50 plus 4.50. So ang ating carrying cost ay 8. Ayan. So kaya naman, ang EOQ natin lumalabas na 1,767.77 units. Pero syempre, sa tunay na buhay, 1,768 na yan. Okay, pero for meantime, let's use 1,767.77 units. Okay. We are now asked for the total na relevant cost at the EOQ. Number 2, so total inventory cost natin, annual ordering cost. So that would be number of orders times the ordering cost per order. Number of orders, ilan ba meron tayo? So compute natin, number of orders, ano ba yung demand over the EOQ? Ilang orders po meron tayo? Ang demand po natin ay 50,000. Ang EOQ natin ay 1,767.77. So gawin po natin. So dito na lang 50,000 over 1,767.77. Multiply natin ng 250. So 50,000 divided by 1,767.77 times 250. Yeah, so the answer is 7,071.06. O pwede naman 7,071 na lang. Ayan. Annual carrying cost would be equal to annual average inventory 1,767.77 over 2. Multiply natin ang carrying cost na 8. So that would be 1,767.77 over 2 times 8. The answer is also 7,071. Okay, so total is 14,142. Sometimes due to rounding off, magkakaroon ng konting differences in our answer. Konti lang naman. I mean, di ba sabi natin, ang annual ordering cost at saka annual carrying cost dapat parehas. So pag nagkaroon lang ng konting difference, that's just due to rounding off. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, in the next slide na lang. So sa number 3 naman, what if the quantity ordered is 1,000 units? So ang total inventory cost natin, annual ordering cost would be number of orders. Ilan ba ang orders natin if 1,000 units? Eh di 50,000 ang kailangan mo for the entire year. So 1,000 ang laman kada order. 50 orders po tayo, di ba? Times the ordering cost per order, which is 250. So, ang ating annual ordering cost ay 12,500. Ang annual carrying cost naman natin, since we are carrying 1,000 units, i-divide natin ng 2 to get the average inventory times the carrying cost na 8 po. Okay, so 1,000 over 2 is 500 times 8. 4,000 pesos. Bakit hindi magkamukha? Eh hindi naman EOQ yung pinag-uusapan natin. Magkano po ito? 16,500. And if you can see, mas mahal yung inventory cost pag hindi natin sinunod yung EOQ. Okay? So 16,500 yung total relevant cost natin. Problem number 5. So, EOQ ulit. Number 1, EOQ is equal to square root of 2 do over C. Square root of 2 times Yanas Corporation's monthly requirement, material requirement used in production is 4,050. So, 4,050 agad. Multiply na natin ng 12. Ayan. Times. Let's continue. This material costs 180 per unit for a supplier and it requires 5 days lead time from the date of order to date of delivery. The ordering cost is 120, so times 120 po tayo dito. Over, the carrying cost is 8% of inventory investment. So 8% ng investment, magkano ba investment natin? That's 180. So that is equal to, magkano po yun? 8% times 180 equal to 14.4. Ang carrying cost per unit natin ay 14.40. So 14.40. So ang EOQ po natin sa number 1 ay 900 units. Okay? Number 2, frequency. Alamin po muna natin yung number of orders. Number of orders is equal to the demand over your quantity, which is EOQ. The demand is 4,050 times 12 over the quantity na 900 units. Lumalabas that there are 54 orders. Anong frequency natin? Gaano kadalas? Tuwing kailan ang order? So 360 days over 54 orders. That would be ilang orders, ilang days po yun? 6.67 days. Pero siyempre walang 6.67, 7 days na po yan. Pero sa ngayon gamitin natin 6.67. Okay? And then we were asked for the total inventory cost. So number 3, total inventory cost. So that would be equal to annual ordering cost. Ilang orders? 54 orders. Magkano per order? 120. Ito po. Okay? So ang annual ordering cost natin ay 6,480. Ang annual carrying cost natin ay average inventory times carrying cost per unit. Ang inventory natin ay 900 over 2. Anong carrying cost natin? 14.40. So the answer is also 6,480. So total inventory cost or total relevant cost ay 12,960. Kapag nag-exam na kayo, pag nakuha nyo na isa, multiply nyo na lang ng 2 para makuha nyo yung total inventory cost. Kung EOQ yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So, reorder point na tinatanong sa 3, 4, 5, and 6 sama safety stock. So, let's continue. So, number 4, reorder point is equal to lead time times daily usage. So that would be ilan lead time natin? 5. Daily usage natin ay 4,050 times 12 over 360, or pwede naman na 4,050 divided by 30. So ang reorder point po natin ay 675. Ayan. Ano ba yung daily usage natin? 135. Ayan. Number 5, ROP is lead time times maximum usage. So that would be 5 times maximum usage daw ay 150. So that is 750 units. Okay? So ang number 6, safety stock is just the difference of the two. 750 minus 675. And that is equal to 75 units as our safety stock. Or safety stock is equal to lead time times maximum usage minus daily usage, which is, kasi minsan yung 4 and 5 di naman nagtatanong, so 5 days times 150 minus 135. So the answer is still 75 units. All right. So let's go to problem number 6. So RCR company has a secret ingredient in its production, and this ingredient costs company 60 and requires 5-day na lead time. Ordering cost is 25 per order, and the carrying cost is 10% of purchase price. Magkano purchase price natin? 60. So 10% times 60, so ang carrying cost natin ay 6 pesos. Ang tinatanong sa number 1 ay annual demand. So number 1, EOQ kasi, ang alam natin, square root of 2do over C. Square natin both sides. So EOQ squared is equal to 2do over C. Oops. Over C. Kaya naman, to compute for your demand, that is equal to EOQ squared times C over 2 times the ordering cost. So ang demand po natin, ang annual demand is EOQ na 2,400 units squared times, ano yung C natin, carrying cost? 6. Okay? All over 2 times the ordering cost na 25. So ang demand natin ay, annual demand would be 691,200 units. Okay? That's our annual demand. For number 2, we are asked for the frequency again. So, number of orders muna. Ilang orders meron tayo? That's D over Q. Annual demand natin ay 691,200, yung na-compute sa number 1. Ang Q natin ay yung quantity, which is EOQ na 2,400. So ilang orders po ito? 288 orders. So therefore, ang frequency natin would be 360 days over 288 orders. So that would be 1.25 days. Again, walang 1.25 days, so it's 2 days. Or 1.25 na lang for the sake of our exam or for the classroom purposes. So sa tunay na buhay, depende sa company if round off, or round up, or round down. So depende po. Okay? So frequency. Let's go to the next slide for the total inventory cost computation. So total inventory cost is equal to annual ordering cost, which is the number of orders again times your O, yung ordering cost per order. Okay, so that would be number of orders ay, ilan nga yung orders natin? Balikan lang natin. 288. Magkano ordering cost natin? 25. So magkano po ang annual ordering cost natin? That would be 7,200. Ayan. Ang annual carrying cost naman natin ay average inventory, which is yung EOQ over 2 times the carrying cost. Ang EOQ natin ay 2,400, binigay na, over 2. Multiply natin ang carrying cost na 6 pesos. So that is also 7,200. So total inventory cost 14,400. Okay, so that's number 3, total inventory cost. Let's now solve number 4, reorder point. Again, that's lead time times your daily usage. So that is equal to, ilan lead time? 5 days. Ang daily usage natin ay annual demand na 691,200 over 360. Ilan po yung annual, yung daily usage natin? This is actually 1,920. So ang reorder point natin ay 9,600 pesos. 9,600 units rather. Okay? For number 5, maximum usage ay 2,000. So ang reorder point natin ay 5 times 2,000. Ganun na agad siya. So that's 10,000 units. Therefore, ang safety stock natin ay 400 units, the difference of the two. So that's number 6. Okay? So let's now proceed to problem number 7. So we are asked to compute for the EOQ, the number of orders per year, and compute for the average inventory. So number 1, EOQ again is the square root of 2 over C. Lagi mo na lang i-set up yung formula. So just look for what you need. Square root of 2 times, ang demand natin ay, Veray company makes bicycles. So it produces 800 bicycles per month. So that's 800 times 12. Okay? Kung bicycle po yung kailangan natin bilhin, it buys the tires. Tires pala ang binibili natin. So multiply natin ng 2 because there are 2 tires ng isang bicycle. Yun po yung annual demand natin. Alright, so from a supplier at a cost of 20 per tire. And then the company's inventory carrying cost is estimated to be 15%. So 15% of 20. So ang carrying cost natin ay 3 pesos. The ordering cost ay 50. So times 50 over 3 pesos. So ang answer natin dito sa EOQ ay 800 tires or units of tires. So that's our EOQ. Okay, number 2, number of orders. So demand over the quantity. That would be over 800. Ano yung demand natin? 800 times 12 times 2. So therefore, that's 24 orders. So that's number 2. Number 3, tinatanong lang ay average inventory. So that's simply or EOQ over 2. 800 over 2. So the answer is 400 units or tires. Okay, so that's for problem number 7. Let's go to the last problem under inventory management. Okay. So the poly company wishes to determine the amount of safety stock that it should maintain for product D that will result in the lowest cost. The following information is available. So meron tayong different levels or units of safety stock here. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So ito yung mga possible na safety stock natin. But safety stock to avoid stock out cost. Okay? Stock out cost per occurrence. Ano occurrence yung tinatanong dito? Depende kung ilang beses kang o-order sa isang taon. So kung just like in the last part of the table, 5 times ka palang o-order. Ibig sabihin, 5 times mo possible na maranasan yung stock out natin. So ang stock out cost natin ay 80 times 5 times. So that's 400 pesos. Okay? Ang carrying cost per unit of safety stock is 4. So depende kung ilang yung safety stock na gagamitin natin. So ito po yung mga safety stock natin. Ngayon, with the below available options open to poly, determine the number of units of safety stock that will result in the lowest cost. Ano-ano ba yung cost na nakikita natin? Stock out, kasi possible maubusan tayo kapag kulang yung safety stock natin or walang safety stock. Pero pag nagkaroon tayo ng safety stock, meron tayong carrying cost. So dalawa yung costs na meron tayo. And we have to choose anong level yung may pinakamababang cost natin. Una, stock out cost. Sabi rito, may probability of running out of stock 50% lang. Kaya ang cost natin, hindi naman 400. 50% of 400 ay 200 pesos. Okay? Ang probability naman ng stock out natin sa 30 units ay 40%. So 40% times 400, 160. 25% of 400 ay 100, 10% is 40, 5% ay 20. Yan yung stock out cost natin for each level of safety stock that we are considering. Pero kung may stock out cost, magkikarry ka rin ang cost natin. So carrying cost natin. So 4 pesos per unit. So 4 times 20, so that's 80 pesos. 4 times 30, 120. 4 times 40, 160. 4 times 50, it's 200. And 4 times 60, it's 240. Ayan. And then, on the last column, we are going to consider the total cost. And yung total cost natin would be 280 kapag 20 ang units natin. 280 din kapag 30 units. So it doesn't matter pala kung 20 o 30, parehas lang na effect. And then kapag 40 units, it's 260 o mas mababa. Pag 50 units, 240. Pag 60 units, 260 uli. So makikita natin that at this point, ito yung may pinakamababang total cost. Therefore, we are going to keep 50 units of safety stock because that would give us the lowest cost of having the lowest cost associated with 50 na safety stock. Kasama na po yung stock out cost at saka yung carrying cost natin. So the answer is 50 units. Okay, this time we're going to talk about the current liabilities management. And we have mentioned before na kapag current liabilities sa pinag-uusapan natin or mga accounts payable, gusto natin as much as possible ma-stretch yung ating payments. Kapag receivable kasi gusto natin ma-collect ng mabilis, pero pag accounts payable, if we can delay as much as possible, gagawin natin. Pero make sure without sacrificing dapat yung ating relationship with our creditors. Okay, so we have these spontaneous liabilities. these are financing that arises from the normal course of the business. So dalawa yung ating sources ng short term na or ng dalawang sources natin of such liabilities, ng spontaneous liabilities, yung accounts payable natin at saka yung accruals natin. Okay? So we also have this unsecured. Kaya unsecured kasi walang collateral. So unsecured short-term financing obtained without pledging specific assets as collateral. Okay? And parang as if interest-free sources of unsecured short-term financing itong spontaneous liabilities. So we should take advantage of this spontaneous liabilities kasi nga walang interest. Now, accounts payable management. How do we manage our accounts payable? So sabi natin, isa nga to sa major source of unsecured short-term financing for business firms. And that result from transactions in which merchandise is purchased but no formal note, and that makes it different from the notes payable. No formal note is signed to show the purchaser's liability to the seller. At dalawa yung parts ng payment period natin. 'Di ba? Pinag-usapan na natin before yung term na float. So hangga't hindi pa ito nababawas sa atin, kasama pa rin po yun. So two parts. Number one, from the time na nag-purchase ka ng raw materials until the firm mails the payment. Tapos number two, the payment float. The time it takes after the firm mails its payment until the supplier has withdrawn spendable funds from the firm's account. So in other words, kung kailan siya mababawas dun sa account natin in the bank. So, or hindi na siya magiging available for us na magamit kasi nabawas na. So, hanggat hindi dine-deposit ng ating supplier yung bayad natin sa kanila, so we can still make use of that money, or that is still part of the average payment period. Again, pag nag-issue ng check, hanggang sa mabawas na sa atin yung ating balanse, yung ating check na in-issue sa supplier. Okay, so the credit terms that a firm is offered by its suppliers enable it to delay the payment for its purchases. So kung meron tayong approved na credit terms, so just like for this example, 210 and 30 EOM. EOM is end of the month. Ibig sabihin, end of the month pa mag-start yung ating terms. Okay, so Gem Industries, operator of a small chain of video stores, purchased 1,000 worth of merchandise on February 27. From a supplier extending terms of 210, net 30, end of the month. Now, if the firm takes the cash discount, ito po, di ba, meron tayong 2% if you purchase the item if you pay the item within 10 days, meron kang 2% na discount. Ang babayaran lang natin ay 980 pesos by March 10, thereby saving 20 pesos. Saan nanggaling yun? 0.2 ng 1,000 ima-minus natin sa ating 1,000 pesos. So kaya 980 na lang yung babayaran natin. Okay. And the cost of giving up a cash discount is the implied rate of interest paid to delay payment of an accounts payable for an additional number of days. So if we let go of the discount, meron pong cost yun. Kasi supposedly, na-reduce na sana yung babayaran nating cash, pero we just give up the cash discount, so therefore may interest po yun. Look at this example. Okay, so yun din yun, yung 210 and 30. Okay, so the credit period begins on March 1. Kasi nga end of the month pa yung start ng ating credit period. Okay? So, in March 10, dito po magtatapos yung cash discount natin. So, we are going to pay 980 pesos. Pero kung magbabayad tayo during the end of the credit period, we are going to pay 1,000 pesos. So, kung nagbayad tayo within the discount period, may 20 pesos tayo na matitake. Pero if not, yung 20 pesos na yan yung magiging sayang naman on our part kasi nga hindi natin na-take advantage ng discount na yan. And there is an implied rate of interest or meron tayong tinatawag na cost of giving up a cash discount. Ano po yun? That is, the interest rate would be equal to 20 pesos, yun na let go natin na discount over na the 980. So that's 2.04. That is the cost of giving up our cash discount. And that is the cost of additional 20 days. Yung 20 pesos. Okay? So we have here the formula for the cost of giving up a cash discount. So that would be cash discount over 100 over minus the cash discount times 365 over N. So kung 2% yun, so 2 over 98 kasi 100 minus 2 times 365 over N. Kung ano man yung number of days na na-delay natin yung payment without giving up the cash. So CD sa cash discount stated in terms of percent, and N is the number of days that payment can be delayed by giving up the cash. Okay? So yung kanina, pinakita ko kanina, so 2 over 98 times 365 over 20. Saan galing yung 20? And 30 tayo, di ba? 210 and 30. So yung number of days that payment can be delayed by giving up the cash discount. So 30 minus 10 days. Kaya 20 days po yung pwede natin, yung number of days na yan that payment can be delayed. Okay, so but that would cost us 37.24%. Yan. And we have also the term approximate cost of giving up cash discount. Wala na yung over 100 minus CD. Wala na po yun. Okay, so diretso na tayo na cash discount times 365 over N. So that's the mas simpleng pag-compute ng cost of giving up the cash discount. Pero i-check po natin yung tanong, ano ba to, cost of giving up the cash discount or approximate? Kasi pag approximate, wala na yung 100 over minus CD. Wala na yung over 100 minus CD. Okay, so ganun pa rin naman yung ibig sabihin ng CD and N. And if we compute for the approximate cost of giving up a cash discount as a previous example, that's 2% times 365 over 20. So 36.5%. So pag bumalik tayo sa previous slide, 37.24. So mas mababa ng konti ng cost of giving up a cash discount kapag approximate na yung ginamit natin. Okay? So, stretching accounts payable refers to paying bills as late as possible without damaging the firm's credit rating. So that would reduce also the implicit cost of giving up a cash discount. So, yung kanina, yung 210 net 30 EOM, so approximate cost of giving up discount is 36.5. Tapos in-stretch natin to into 70 days. Pero syempre dapat alam ni creditor So 70 days without damaging its credit rating. Ang magiging bagong approximate cost of giving up cash discount natin would be 12.2% na. Makikita po natin na kapag ini-stretch natin, na bababaan natin yung cost of giving up the cash discount. Tingnan po 365 divided by 60 na lang siya. Kasi nga, 70 days na yung naging na-stretch natin yung accounts payable natin minus the 10 days na period natin for the cash discount. Itong 20 na to, 30 days dati minus the 10 days, kaya 20. So again, pag in-stretch natin without damaging the firm's credit rating, so we will be able to reduce the implicit cost of giving up a cash discount. Okay. Now, mayroon kasing cost yung pag-give up ng cash discount. Ang tanong dito kasi, will you let go of the cash discount or ita-take advantage mo ba? Sometimes, it would be better to let go of the cash discount, but sometimes it would be better also, rather, na i-take mo talaga yung cash discount. So, paano natin malalaman po yan? Normally, kapag may cash ka naman talaga na excess o na available, iti-take mo talaga yung cash discount kasi available na yan sa'yo. But what if wala ka namang cash available pero iniisip mo to take the cash discount? So how will you decide if you are going to take the cash discount or let go of the discount kung wala ka namang excess cash talaga right now? So may option tayo. Pwede tayong magkaroon ng short-term borrowing. Pero pag nagkaroon tayo ng short-term borrowing, meron ding cost 'yon, yung short-term borrowing. So those are the costs that we are going to compare later. Okay. So just an exercise. So Carmen Incorporated, a large building supply company, has 4 possible suppliers. Okay? Each offering different credit terms. Otherwise, their products and services are identical. So, supplier A, B, C, and D, iba-iba ng kanilang credit terms. Tingnan natin. Ang credit term ni A, 210 and 30 EOM. Magkano yung natin, approximate cost of giving up a cash discount? So, that would be 2 times 365 over 20, di ba? So, ang answer natin ay 36.5. Ito namang isa, 1% times 365 over, ilan to? 85 minus 10 over 75. So, that would be 4.9%. Okay? Ito namang isa, 3 times 365 over 50. 70 minus 20. So the answer is 21.9%. Ito namang isa, 4 times 365 over 50 din. So 29.2%. Ito yung cost if we give up our cash discount. Ngayon, kung may excess cash ka, i-take advantage mo na. Pero kung wala kang excess cash, wait muna, mag-decide muna tayo kung dapat ba i-let go o i-take natin yung cash discount. Supposedly, or let us assume, if the firm needs a short-term funds, which it can borrow from its bank at an interest rate of 13%. So, syempre sabi natin, wala kang cash, gusto mo i-take advantage. Pag nangutang ka, meron na namang cost yan, yung interest rate ng utang na yon. And if each of the suppliers is viewed separately, which of the supplier's cash discounts will the firm give up? Okay? Itong kay supplier A, are we going to take the discount or give up? The answer is take discount. Why? Kapag nangutang ka, ang cost mo 13%, ang mawawala sa'yo, ang masasave mo ay yung 36.5%. I-take mo yung discount. Dahil pag hindi mo tinake ang discount, itong 36.5% na to ang magiging cost mo because you gave up your cash discount. So letter B, take discount or give up? Let go of the discount. Kasi 4.9% dyan, mas maliit yung mawawala sa'yo kaysa sa nangutang ka. Pag nangutang ka, bayad ka 13%. Pag tinake mo discount mo, 4.9% lang yung cost nun. So, hayaan mo na yung discount na yun. So, ibig sabihin, sa C at saka D, since mas malaki yung approximate cost of discount, take the discount. Ganun pa yung pag-decide. Pag mas malaki yung approximate cost of giving up a cash discount compared to the interest rate nung uutangin mo na pambayad ng cash discount, take the discount. Otherwise, kung maliit lang po yung cost of giving up, i-give up mo na yung discount na yun. Okay? Yan. So, just another exercise lang. What is the effective annualized cost of foregoing the trade discount on 210 net 80? So, answer. So, cost of giving up is 2 over 98 times 365 over 70. So, that's 10.64%. Pero kapag approximate ang ginamit natin, diretso na yung 2 times 365 over 70, that's 10.43. So tingnan po sa exam yung term na approximate kung nakakabit para alam mo kung alin yung gagamitin mo. Kung 2 over 98 ba or 2 lang ang gagamitin mo. Okay? Next, 215 net 70. So again, 2 over 98 pa rin siya times 365 over 55 lang po. 70 minus 15. So that's 13.54% if we give up the discount. So ibig sabihin, kung merong mang borrowings at 10% lang, take the discount. Pero kung ang interest rate nung kukuhanan mo na pambayad mo dito ay mga 20%, wag na, let go of the discount. Approximate is 2% times 365 over 55. So that's 13.27%. Okay. Ayan. So yun po yung mga problems natin sa mga handouts natin. So accruals po tayo ngayon. Bakit pati yung accruals kailangan din natin ma-manage? Meron ba siyang impact talaga sa profit natin or may impact ba talaga siya sa ating working capital or sa cash flow natin? Okay? Accruals are liabilities for services received for which payment has yet to be made. Example, wages at saka taxes. Pero yung taxes kasi are payments to government, hindi na po natin ma-manipulate yung or ma-extend yung payment niyan. Ibig sabihin, pag ang deadline ng mga withholding taxes natin ay 10th of the following month, so dapat ma-remit na natin ng 10th of the following month. Pero yun yung kaibahan natin kapag accrual of wages. We can still manipulate to some extent by delaying payment of wages. Ang ginagawa po ng ibang companies, pag unang hire, yung 1 to 15, kunwari, pondo, ang term nila is pondo muna. Yung 1 to 15, tapos mapasok sila ng 16 to end of the month, ang unang sweldo nila ay nasa end of the month pa. At ang sweldo nila ng end of the month ay pertaining sa 1 to 15. So in other words, nagtrabaho sila ng 1 to 15, nagtrabaho ng 16 to end of the month, delayed ng 15 days yung sweldo niya. So, ang tawag nila doon, para maganda pakinggan, ay may pondo. Okay? Tapos pag 1 to 15, dumating na naman. Sumweldo ng 15. Para saan yung sweldo niya? Para sa 16 to end of the month. So, delayed ng isang cut-off. So, in that way, parang we are receiving an interest-free loan from the employees. So tayong mga employees, isipin natin, parang kung iisipin natin, yung sweldo natin na supposedly nasa atin na agad ay ginagamit ng company for any other purposes. So parang pinautang natin sila na interest-free. And yun nga, thereby receiving an interest-free loan from employees who are paid sometime after they have performed the work. Yung iba naman, 1 to 15 ang sweldo on the 20th. Yung 16 to end of the month ang sweldo on the 5th of the following month. So may 5 days pa rin na worth of sweldo na hindi agad na nagagamit ng company pansamantala for other purposes. So kaya yung ibang company, yung iba nga ang ginagawa monthly ang sweldo. So halos isang buwan yung pondo kasi ginagamit nila yung money for the mean things with their employees. Ayun, kapag naka-establish na to usually pag may nag-join na employee, it's either they embrace the policy or they just go to another company. But depende naman yun sa employees. Ayan. So, this is an example. Befano Company, a large janitorial service company, currently pays its employees at the end of each work week. The weekly payroll totals 400,000. So Befano could earn 10% annually on invested funds. So in that way, pag titingnan mo siya, this strategy would be worth 40,000 per year or 0.10 times 400,000. So kumikita, kaya hinold niya yung 400,000 pero eventually ibabayad din naman niya. Pero dapat kakitaan muna niya ng 10%. O di ba meron siyang 40,000 per year because of that strategy na i-accrue yung wages for some time. Ayan. So that's what the company does para mapakinabangan yung pera hanggat hindi lumalabas. Ayan. So, we have here unsecured sources of short-term loans, yung bank loans naman. Meron tayong short-term self-liquidating loan. This is an unsecured short-term loan in which the use to which the borrowed money is provides a mechanism through which the loan is repaid. So pwedeng single payment note, pwedeng lines of credit, pwede rin naman yung revolving credit agreement. So we will show that later. Ayan. So if you look at the effective annual rate, kasi di ba, once the nominal or stated annual rate is established, the method of computing interest is determined. So depende. Kailan ba binabayaran yung interest? It can be paid either kapag nag-mature yung loan or kapag advance. Okay? May effect po yan sa interest rate natin kapag nag-mature yung loan at kapag advance yung payment ng interest. So let's show. If the interest is paid at maturity at the end of the life of the loan, the effective or true annual rate, the actual rate of interest paid for an assumed 1-year period is equal to, halimbawa, interest over amount borrowed. Yung amount borrowed, that is yung nasa ilalim, yun mismo yung proceeds natin. Okay? Nanghiram ka ng 10,000 pesos, nakuha mo yung buong 10,000 pesos. Kung ano may interest nun, babayaran mo at the end of its maturity. Okay, so bakit nawala? Ayan, so when interest is paid in advance naman, parang discount loans po ang tawag natin. The effective annual rate for discount loan, assuming a 1-year period, is calculated as follows. Ayan, interest over amount borrowed minus interest. Again, yung nasa ilalim po natin, simply yung proceeds ng loan natin. Bakit naka-minus interest? Kasi nga, paid in advance. So, ibig sabihin, ang proceeds natin ay reduced agad by the amount of the interest. At ang numerator natin ay yung interest pa rin na yun. Okay? So, let's show this example. So, Rosal Company, a manufacturer of athletic apparel, wants to borrow 10,000 pesos at a stated annual rate of 10% interest for 1 year. Interest is paid at maturity. So, at the end of the year pa, babayaran. So, the effective annual rate is therefore 1,000 over 10,000 pesos. Kasi ang proceeds mo 10,000, ang interest ay 1,000. So, lumalabas na ang effective interest rate is also 10%. Just like the stated annual rate. 10% din po. What if company or the money is borrowed at the same stated annual rate for 1 year, but interest is paid in advance? So, ima-minus mo na kagad yung 1,000. The effective annual interest rate is, tingnan po 1,000 yung interest, pero dinidak agad. So, ang proceeds lang natin ay 9,000. So, 1,000 over 9,000, ang ating interest rate ay 11.11%. Mas malaki yung effective annual rate if paid in advance po yung ating interest. Okay? Because the amount of proceeds ay na-reduce. Okay, basta ano man yung formula niya, ang ilalim lagi niyan ay yung proceeds. Net proceeds, net of the interest, net of any other charges kung meron man. Ang numerator natin ay yung ating interest. Okay? Ayan, so sabi natin kanina, bank loans pa rin. Meron tayong tinatawag na prime rate, fixed rate, at saka floating rate. Explain lang natin. Pag sinabi mong prime rate, this is the lowest rate of interest charged by leading banks on business loans to their most important, pakinote, most important borrowers. Ibig sabihin, talagang yung prime rate na yan na yung pinakasuking rate sa kanilang most important na mga business borrowers. Ano naman yung fixed rate loan? That is a rate of interest that is determined at a set incremental above the prime rate. Yung prime rate na nandun sa una nating binibigay sa mga important business borrowers. And remains unvarying until maturity. So mas mataas ang fixed rate kesa sa prime rate na meron lang a set increment above the prime rate. Okay? At that would remain constant hanggang sa mag-mature yung loan natin. At yun yung difference sa floating rate. May prime rate din, pero yung increment above the prime rate, nagva-vary. That's why it is allowed to float. So, yung mga loan natin ngayon, halimbawa nag-housing loan ka or home loan, 5% fixed lang po siya. Pero sasabihin, floating na yung mga susunod na years. Ibig sabihin, depende. Nagva-vary kasi yung prime rate. Ayun, yung prime rate yung nagva-vary. Yung ating increment na above the prime rate, yun yung constant. Pero yung prime rate nagbabago. Yung lowest rate ng interest charged by the leading banks on business loans ay nagbabago. Ayan. So let's show some example about this one. So Gordon Manufacturing, a producer of rotary mower blades, recently borrowed 100,000 pesos from each of two banks, Bank A and Bank B. So the loans were incurred on the same day when the prime rate of interest was 6%. So that's the prime rate. Each loan involved a 90-day note with interest to be paid at the end of 90 days. Si Bank A, ang interest rate niya was set at 1.5% above the prime rate, which is 7.5%, di ba? So ito yung sinasabi natin na constant na increment. So ito ay fixed rate po tayo sa number 1. Sa Bank B naman, set interest rate at 1% above the prime rate on floating rate note. Initially, 6% yung prime rate. Ito yung prime rates natin. Initially 6%. So 7% yung ating interest rate sa una. After 30 days, rate will be 6.5. So magiging 7.5 na. Pero after 30 days, the rate drops to 6.25. So magiging 7.25 na interest rate. Kaya nga floating, so nagva-vary po yung prime rate ang nagva-vary. Nagva-vary hanggang sa ma-reach yung maturity. Yun. Pero yung interest rate above, yung increment rate above the prime rate is always 1%. Ayan. So, how do we compare yung interests from both banks? Bank A, sabi natin, ang interest natin ay 100,000 times 7.5 times 90 over 360. Di ba? 90 days yung loan natin over 360. So, ang interest natin ay 1,875. So, ang cost ng loan for 90 days ay 1,875 over 100,000. So, that's 1.875% for the entire 90 days. Now, ang effective annual rate ay 1 plus 0.01875 yung ating interest na nakuha. Raised to the fourth. Saan galing yung fourth? Di ba number of periods yan? 360 days over 90 days. So 4 periods po tayo. Minus 1. So effective annual rate is 7.71%. Nag 360 na lang po tayo kasi pag 365 over 90, that's 4.06. And now we are using yung basic calculator. Ang hirap mag-exponent ng 4.06. Raised to the fourth po tayo. Okay? So the answer is 7.71%. So yan yung effective annual rate kapag ang ginamit na pag kay Bank A tayo, yung flat rate or fixed rate. Okay? Dito tayo kay Bank B, what if floating rate? So sa floating rate, magbabago lagi yung interest. So magko-compute tayo ng mga different na interests for every time magkakaroon ng changes. So interest natin, first 30 days natin, 100,000 times 7%, di ba? 1% na increment plus 6% na prime rate. Times 30 over 360 kasi for the first 30 days lang. So 583.33. Yung next 30 days, di ba magbabago? Magiging 6.5 na yung prime rate, kaya magiging 7.5 na yung ating interest rate. Times 30 over 360, so 625 ang ating interest. For another 30 days, magiging 6.25 na yung ating prime rate, kaya 7.25 yung interest rate natin. Times 30 over 360, so 604.17. Kaya ang total natin na interest for the entire 90 days na pabago-bago, yung interest rate natin is 1,812.50. Talaga po pag floating rate, magsosolve ka po talaga every time magbabago yung ating prime rate. So the total interest is 1,812.50. I-divide natin yan sa 100,000. Lumalabas na 1.8125% ang interest natin. But to make it effective annual rate, so 1 plus 0.018125, ito po yung interest na yan. Raised to the fourth or 4 periods minus 1, that would give you 7.45%. So naging favorable naman actually for the company. Kasi kanina ang interest rate natin ay 7.71 effective annual. Pero kapag floating, 7.45. Pero hindi naman po laging gano'n. So depende po yun. Okay? Depende po sa changes. Next, okay. Yan, line of credit naman ang pag-usapan natin. So after comparing the fixed with the prime and with the floating rate, ngayon naman line of credit tayo. This is an agreement between a commercial bank and a business specifying the amount of unsecured short-term borrowing the bank will make available to the firm over a given period of time. So they will ensure na ganito yung amount na I will allot to that firm na pwede niyang utangin. So there is a line of credit agreement, of course. Tapos naka-state doon yung interest rate, tapos yung restriction sa operating change and the compensating balance. So nagre-require din sila ng compensating balance kapag nagkaroon ng borrowings. So here is an example ng line of credit. So business sign, a graphic design firm has borrowed 1 million under a line of credit agreement. It must pay a stated interest of 10%, so 10% of 1 million. And maintain in its checking account a compensating balance equal to 20% of the amount borrowed or 200,000. Ibig sabihin po, pag nanghiram ka ng 1 million, yung proceeds natin na denominator sa pag-solve ng interest rate, mababawasan. So, una, yung amount received natin is 800,000 na lang. Kasi 1 million ang loan, 200,000 kailangan mo i-maintain as your compensating balance. Diba? Pero ang interest mo is for the entire 1 million. So, 100,000 po ang interest natin. 10% of 1 million. Therefore, the effective annual rate is 12.5. That is 100,000 over the 800,000 na proceeds natin. Yung proceeds from the loan. Yun lagi ang denominator natin. Okay? So, that's 12.5%. Another example. Business sign, a graphic design firm has borrowed 1 million pa rin under a line of credit agreement. It must pay a stated interest of 10% pa rin naman and maintain its checking account a compensating balance equal to 20% or 200,000. May nadagdag lang na statement. The firm normally maintains a 100,000 balance in its checking account. Anong impact nun? Kung ang requirement ng bangko dun sa loan mo na 1 million ay magkaroon ka ng 200,000 na compensating balance sa checking account mo, eh meron ng 100,000 initially dahil yun na minemaintain mo kahit wala ka pang loan na 1 million. Ibig sabihin, yung proceeds mo from the 1 million loan, hindi na 800,000 lang, kundi 900,000. Diba? Kasi 1 million minus 100,000 na lang kailangan mo iwanan kasi meron ka na initially 100,000 doon. So in effect, 200,000 pa rin ang compensating balance mo. But the proceeds that you will get is 900,000. So ang interest natin is 100,000 pa rin. So in that way, bababa yung effective annual rate natin. That is 11.1%. That is just 100,000 divided by 900,000 na proceeds natin. So, importante na alam natin na ang denominator natin lagi dito ay proceeds. Ano man yung maraming sinasabi tungkol sa denominator, minus the interest, minus the etc. Basta ang nasa ilalim natin ay yung proceeds natin from our loan. Okay? Line of credit, ito, meron lang tayong annual cleanup. So this is the requirement that for a certain number of days during the year, borrowers under line of credit carry a zero loan balance. So parang walang utang parang as if walang utang sa bangko. Okay, so this is to ensure that the money lent under line of credit is actually being used to finance, paki-note, to finance seasonal needs. Okay? Saan nyo siya medyo naaalala? Di ba doon tayo sa yung mga seasonal funding requirements, yung mga ganon. Ayan. So, next. Line of credit, revolving credit agreement naman. So, ito na yung pangatlo. Sa revolving credit agreement, it is a line of credit guaranteed. Guaranteed. Sinisigurado ng borrower ng bangko to a borrower na makakautang sila regardless kung kapos sila or may scarcity of money. So in other words, may revolving credit agreement, so pautangin siya sa ano man ang mangyari. Yun nga lang, yung hindi mo, nagbigay sa'yo ng amount na hanggang ganito ang pwede mo utangin, just in case, hindi ka nangutang, or merong portion na hindi mo inutang, meron kang babayaran na commitment fee. Kung may bayad ang commitment. This is the fee that is normally charged on a revolving credit agreement. It applies to the average unused portion of the borrower's credit line. Okay, so di mo naman pala gagamitin, charge pa rin kita kasi sinigurado ko na makakautang ka kahit anong mangyari. So, bayad ka ng interest pag umutang ka, pero pag hindi mo inutang, bayaran mo yung commitment fee. Okay? Yan. For example, MAS company has 2 million revolving credit agreement with its bank. Its average borrowing under the agreement for the past year was 1.5 million. So, ibig sabihin, merong unused na 500,000. So, may commitment fee yung 500,000. Pero sa 1.5 million, anong meron dyan? Then yung interest na usually pinapataw ng bangko. So the bank charges a commitment fee of 0.5% on the average unused balance. So normally mas maliit naman kaysa sa kapag nangutang ka talaga. And the term calls for a 7.5 interest rate. So just in case mangutang, yung 7.5% interest a-apply kay 1.5 million. Yung 0.5% a-apply dun sa 500,000 na unused. Okay? So ang interest natin ay 7% na 1.5 million, 112,500. Ang commitment fee natin ay 0.5% of 500,000, so therefore that's 2,500. Kaya naman po, ang total na pinaka-i-charge natin dito, ang total cost of the loan is 115,000 kasama yung commitment fee. Magkano yung proceeds natin sa loan? Magkano ba yung Ayan. Proceeds natin sa loan, 1,500,000. Kaya, ang total cost ng loan ay 115,000 divided by the 1.5 million na loan natin. So, ang cost natin ay 7.67%. Okay? So, kapag revolving credit agreement, ganito po. Yan. So we have here also a commercial paper. Na-mention natin noon, sa point of view ng maraming cash, isa to sa pwede mong paglagyan ng pera. Pero point of view naman ngayon ng current liabilities management, it is a form of financing na consisting of short-term unsecured na promissory notes issued by firms with high credit standing. So hindi pala basta-basta to na i-issue ng mga firms. Dapat meron kang high credit standing. And generally, yung mga large firms lang with unquestionable financial soundness, sila lang nakakapag-issue ng commercial paper. Kasi sila lang din may kakayanan para bayaran ranging from 3 to 270 days yung mga loans na yan. Okay? So, yan yung commercial paper natin. So, for example, Wu Corporation, a large shipbuilder, has just issued 1 million worth of commercial paper that has a 90-day maturity and sells for 990,000. So, from here, ang interest natin, kita na kagad natin na 10,000. So, 1 million minus the 990,000. So, effective 90-day rate natin is 1.01. Saan galing yun? It's 10,000 over 990,000. Okay, so ang effective annual interest rate ay 4.10%. Paano nakuha? 1 plus 0.0101, or ito po yun. Ayan. Raised to the fourth. Apat na periods ulit, 360 over 90. Ayan. So, minus 1. So, ang answer po natin ng effective annual interest rate natin ay 4.10%. Okay. Ayan yung computational number of periods. Yan. So some few loans na lang tayo. So in international loans, the most important difference or the important difference between the international and domestic transactions is that payments are often made or received in foreign currency. So that would expose us to exchange rate risk or forex risk. There could be forex loss or gain. Typical international transactions are large in size and have long maturity dates. Yan yung international loans natin. Letter of credit. Ano naman to letter of credit? One time natanong na rin sa akin to sa CMA exam. So a letter of credit is a letter written by a company's bank to the company's foreign supplier stating that the bank guarantees payment of an invoice amount if all the underlying agreements are met. Kumbaga, kung ang katransact mo ay sa ibang bansa, so parang yung bank mo ang nagagaranti na babayaran yung invoice amount na yon. So parang yung letter of credit essentially substitutes the bank's reputation and creditworthiness. So kung may letter of credit na yon, kumbaga, kung may letter of credit na yon, possible na ma-proceed na yung transaction dahil nga it really substitute yung reputation ng bank and creditworthiness for that of its commercial customer. An exporter is more willing to sell goods, of course, a foreign buyer, if the transaction is covered by a letter of credit. Siyempre gusto makasigurado ng foreign seller, ng exporter, na kapag merong letter of credit issued by a well-known bank, siyempre depende rin kung anong bangko yan. Baka naman yung bangko hindi masyadong sikat or hindi naman sa may question, pero dapat galing yan doon sa mga banks with unquestionable na financial soundness, parang ganun din. So dapat so kapag pag covered ng letter of credit issued by those banks, so mas willing talaga yung exporter to sell the goods to a foreign buyer. Okay? Ayan. So short-term loans pa rin, secured sources naman tayo. Short-term financing or loan that has specific assets pledged as collateral. So, the collateral commonly takes the form of an asset. So, pwede siyang AR o pwede rin siyang inventory. So, tapos, yun nga lang, hindi porket meron kang collateral, parang sinabi mo na hindi na magde-default or parang sinabi mong sure na babayaran, hindi naman po. Ang meron po tayong assurance dito is that if there will be a default, kahit papano, hindi naman masisiro yung nagpautang sa'yo. So holding collateral can reduce losses if the borrower defaults. Mare-reduce lang yung losses. But the presence of collateral has no impact on the risk of default. Kung talagang magde-default yung borrower, magde-default yan. May collateral o wala. Yun nga lang, pag may collateral, mare-reduce yung losses. Kung walang collateral, ay talagang the entire loan would be your entire loss. Ayun. So secured sources of short-term loans pa rin, security agreement. Ito yung agreement ng borrower and lender that specifies yung collateral held against a secured loan. So meron lang tayong security agreement na nakalagay din doon yung terms ng loan against which the security is held. And ito ay fina-file in a public office within the state. Okay? Kaya talagang secured. So characteristics ng secured loan, yung percentage advance is the percentage of the book value of the collateral that constitute the principal. So kasama na sa principal ng secured loan yon, yung percentage of the book value of the collateral. Yan. And commercial finance companies, these are the lending institutions that make only secured loans. Only secured loans. Kahit na short-term or long-term man to, they offer secured loans to businesses. Ayan. Pero syempre, ang focus natin is ito po, yung, hindi naman focus, use of AR as collateral at saka use of inventory as collateral. So paano yung ginagawa? So two most commonly used means of obtaining short-term financing with AR. Kilala nyo po ito sa financial accounting ninyo. Pledge or factors. Pledging or factoring. Pledge is the use of firms' AR, accounts receivable, as security or collateral to obtain a short-term loan. As security or collateral. Klaro po yun. Pero pag factoring, this is the outright sale of your accounts receivable at a discount, of course, to a factor or other financial institution. So that's the difference between pledging and factoring. Kapag pledges of AR typically made on, it's either non-notification basis. So pag there is no notification, yung borrower pa rin ang nagko-continue ng collection. The account payments without notifying the account customer. So sila pa rin nagko-continue ng collection. Okay? Pero kapag notification basis naman, since alam na yung account customer whose account has been pledged is notified to remit payment directly to the lender. So hindi na si borrower nagko-kolekta, diretso na kay lender yung payment kapag notification basis. Okay? At ang factoring naman, normally done on the notification basis kasi nga 'di ba outright sale na 'yon na accounts receivable. So it's more on notification basis at saka non-recourse basis na liable lang si borrower up to the extent no amount nung AR na na-factor. Ayan. So pag inventory naman, use of inventory as collateral is generally second to accounts receivable in desirability. Mas collateral kasi ang AR kaysa sa inventory. Pero ang reason kung bakit desirable din ang inventory is because of its marketability. Kasi generally ang inventory ay kabenta-benta at madaling ibenta naman. Kaya lang, there are times na lalo na kapag perishable yung mga items natin such as fruits, pwedeng marketable din sila. But the cost of storing and selling the fruits is high. So problema pa ngayon yung gagamitan mo na collateral. 'Di ba? So they may not be desirable collateral kasi masyadong malaki yung cost of storing and selling the fruits. Ayan. At saka yung mga specialized items such as the moon roving vehicles. Siyempre hindi naman yun desirable na collateral either kasi in case of the default nung borrower, so mahihirapan din yung lender kung saan niya ibebenta yung moon roving vehicles na yan. So halos wala or bibihira talaga yung magkakaroon ng interest sa mga vehicles na yan. Okay? So so that would be all for today, and thank you very much for attending today's session. So if you have questions, you can put that in our chat box.